Welcome back to Christmas Around the World. Thank you, everyone who joins us, rewatches our replays, all that stuff. It's wonderful to have you. And today we are going to Canada. And yes, Americans, this is a separate country. It is not the 51st state. In fact, it's larger than our country. I know I'm going to get hate mail on that one, but I'm just saying. Canada is a real country with lots of different traditions. And I was very fortunate to meet Barbara Fisher just recently at a networking event. I just loved her energy. And as I think we can see from her outfit, positive attitude and cheer. I was like, oh, this lady, look her mistletoe. I said, this lady's a shoo-in. She's got to do it for me. So fortunately, last minute, she agreed to join me, and I am so happy. So Barbara, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. And why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Thank you for the honor of being on your show, Angie. My name is Barb Fisher. I'm in Guelph, Ontario, Canada, and I'm an ambassador for Ladies of Justice, empowered by Legal Shield and ID Shield. I love helping women, particularly, empower themselves by knowing what their rights are and by being protected from those identity thieves and from I just love having that ability when I have that gut feeling that something isn't right, that I can just pick up the phone and talk to the lawyers and I don't have to worry about how much it costs. I get to find out what my rights are. Little things, big things, doesn't matter. And I just love that. And I'm looking for people to join my team as well. So back to you, Angie. I don't know if that's all that you
That
wanted.
is perfect. It's everything. No, and that was another reason it's perfect. No, it's another reason I like to do this. So it's about culture so that we can work, but my non-Christmas is called Business Around the World because we want to show people how we can work together in other cultures and help each other. And it doesn't matter where you are anymore. Everybody can work online. And so I like to highlight really good companies, industries, and products that I know. And when I met Barb, I said, oh, I love you because I have had Legal Shield for about 2 years now. And like she said, I call when I get pulled over. I got pulled over, called, and he's like, hey, say this, say that. It was like, da da da. I reduced my thing I had going on. We don't need to go into all that. I do tend to drive way too fast. But anyway, but you can call them for anything. And it's incredibly affordable. Now, I don't know like if the rates change where you are or not, but I was really shocked because let's say it's ballpark of $30 a month. You have a lawyer on retainer, more or less. I mean, you can ask all kinds of questions. You can do, like she said, just know your rights. It's a wonderful product. So if you don't have it yet, you should get it. If you have it and you love it, you should talk to Barb about being on her team and helping other people get it. I especially love that we're focusing on women because I think it's something that we just don't think about as much. It's not a question that we ask, where to go, what to do. So I love that extra empowerment. So 2 reasons we brought her here. 3, festive, educational, and has a great product. So we're just really happy to have you. So let's talk a little bit about Christmas in Canada. I have a few questions, a few things, but let's start with you. What can you tell me? Because like we said, Canada's huge. So a lot of your traditions are very similar to ours, no different at all. But I think you do have some really neat and different things that we have too, especially in certain regions. So tell me about Christmas in Canada.
Well, obviously, I can't cover all the different nationwide festivities that we have, but I think the big difference between Canada and the US is that our Thanksgiving is the second weekend of October, whereas yours, I think, kind of blends into the whole holiday season. You kind of run from Thanksgiving right into Christmas and beyond, but ours are very separate. So but we have much the same, I'm sure. We have turkey usually. We have lights and blow up things on our front lawn. Now you may not have blow up moose, but like we have in our front lawn. My partner's a big fan of moose, as you can see by my shirt that he made. And I mean, that's different than reindeer, but it's still somehow festive. I'm not sure how, just like penguins who are in the South Pole are also seen on front lawns of people's houses.
I know. I have a penguin. I have a penguin. I actually have a Christmas moose onesie too. So we have Christmas
Oh,
moose too.
there you go. I'll have
If
to
I
find
had
out
known,
which
I would have
level.
worn my onesie. Oh, fun.
So yes, so I don't know, like because we have so many cultures, and like we allow everybody to do their own thing, but quite often you still see people from other cultures adapting a few of our things, like Christmas trees. Like saw several yesterday, cars driving down the street with Christmas trees tied to the top. Although a lot of people have also gone to artificial trees because it's just easier and
That's the
whatever.
same here. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate to admit it, but I did too. Like I never thought I'd be that person, and then I was like, I'm gonna be that person.
I know, and our
It's
house is
weird.
too small to even have any trees, so we went that, but we have all sorts of other Christmas things, around here.
Yeah,
So,
I have no doubt. I'm not challenging your festivity at all.
and you've known me such a short time. I'm surprised. How can you tell
Oh
that?
my gosh, that is so funny. So one question I did have, and I don't know how much you know about this, so if I'm putting you on the spot, I apologize, but I think I sent this to you. So when I do these, I do try to look up a little bit because I don't have any idea. This is a learning experience for me too. And I saw that the Santa is from Canada. Have you ever heard that? Like, did you think Santa originated in Canada?
Well, he
Because
is in
Finland's
the
going to be
North
after you
Pole,
guys. I'm just saying.
right? He is in the North Pole, but when you asked me that, I Googled it. And the North Pole is actually international waters. It is not part of any country. The closest country is Canada, and it's our territory called Nunavut in Canada. And the second closest
Mm,
country is Greenland, which actually belongs to Denmark. But it's actually international waters, so we can't claim Santa, no. And of
okay.
course,
Good for you.
originally Santa was Saint Nicholas, who was in Europe, right? So you have probably talked to somebody over in Europe who has told
Yeah,
you
I
about
mean,
Saint
it's
Nicholas.
funny. Like you said, some people only have Saint Nick. Some people have Saint Nick and Santa. I'm Catholic, so we've always had Saint Nick, and Santa, but that's only for Catholics. Like my son went to a public school and he was like, "Oh my God, Mom, everybody's bad. Saint Nick didn't come to anybody." Like, well, that's because you're Catholic.
Okay, so you celebrate on the 6th of December and the 25th then?
Yeah, but the 6 is very small. Like I said, it's only for Catholics, and he kind of just like puts like candy and stuff in your stocking. Or my son is 21 now, so he put like a little bottle of Jack Daniels in his stocking. So
Does that mean he was good or he was bad?
he's good. Have a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
he's
And
fun.
you
And
know that the traditional Santa Claus that as we know him with the red suit and the beard and all that, that was actually Coca-Cola. It was a marketing ad in the
oh,
40s.
yeah. And I found that out last year doing this because I asked someone forget where it was, but it was like Eastern Europe or Africa. It was something that was a really different culture to me. And so I said, "So do you have Santa?" And he looked at me dead serious. He says, "Coca-Cola gave everybody Santa Claus in 1950." About that. But he's right. Like the Santa we think of was really came the first time that the whole picture that we think of was Coca-Cola. So that's kind of funny. I
Yeah.
did also hear that there's a huge parade in Toronto, one of the oldest and largest Santa parades in the world. Like that's
Really?
kind of cool.
I didn't realize it
What
was
else
that
did we
old.
find out? I
I,
know,
I,
isn't it fun? You get to learn stuff about your own country when you do these things.
I,
Oh, I lost you. What happened to you? Oh, there you are. Okay, and then we had so then we had this was well, you knew what it was called. What was the name of this again?
well, I don't.
Nathan, it's
Nathan Phillips
in front
Square.
of City
Yes.
Hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nathan Phillips Square. So there's like ice skating there. I thought that was really picturesque. Um, and then this is just a total random. If you Google Christmas in Canada, they're going to give you this beautiful picture. But it made me think about your weather. And just before we hopped on, we were talking about the weather. So tell us what to expect, because a lot of countries that watch this are just fascinated that they think we all have a white Christmas every time, and that we all have a town that looks like this.
Well, the White Christmas is a lovely concept, and we always hope for it. But we had lots of snow a few days ago, and now I looked out and it looks like spring. It's like 50 something degrees and or 13 if you're in Celsius like we are, but it's 50
Everybody is
something.
except us. So yeah.
And it's going to be raining for the rest of the week, and it's like, really? Oh, okay. Like, we don't know whether we're going to get a white Christmas or not. We'll see. Every year it's the same. We're not sure. It's quite often it's nothing on the ground before, and then magically Christmas Day sometimes, if you're lucky, it'll snow.
It's exactly the same here. So I am very far geographically from Barb, for those who wouldn't know. I'm in northern Kentucky, but we are having like the exact same. Like, we're having spring right now. There were tornado warnings last night. It's raining. But sometimes we have white Christmas, so it always depends. It is usually cold though. So
And I did
that
not
would
realize
be.
that you had snow down there. That's interesting.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's almost like 50-50, I would say, that we have a white Christmas. So it's still exciting because it doesn't happen all the time, but I mean, it's not unusual. It's not like, holy cow, we have white Christmas. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Then the other thing we talked about, because this is something that was stereotypically in the United States, we talk about, we don't talk about Canadians a lot. We do
No.
have Boxing Day. So I'd asked her about Boxing Day, and she was like, well, it's really just a shopping day.
Yes. Yes.
So, but it's the day after Christmas is
Yes.
Boxing Day, right?
Yes. And originally, I think, well, according to this, it was for exchanging gifts. Yeah. So I remember that if you didn't like the gift you got on Christmas, you'd go on Boxing Day and you'd exchange it. And also things went on sale. So of course, all the Christmas decorations were half price or whatever. And it was a great time to buy your Christmas decorations for the next year.
See, okay, so technically we have it too. We just don't call it Boxing Day because that's exactly what we do the day after Christmas. Go exchange your stuff. Go get all the on sale Christmas stuff. It's totally the same. That's another reason I love doing these though. We're so much the same. It's crazy. Like, even if I go to Africa or Europe, there's so many of the most important things that are the same. This one is one that I did not warn her about. So I forgot I had this one. So she probably doesn't even know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But again, remember, Canada is massive, right? It's 3.8 million square miles. So it's 60,000 square miles larger than the United States. It is huge. And there's an Inuit population. There's all kinds. There's a big Ukrainian community, all kinds of different things. But I did read, and I just thought this was funny, that in northern Canada, some people have a Taffy Pool, and it's in honor of a saint, the patron saint of single women, and it's an opportunity for single women to meet eligible men. And I was like, that is the funniest thing ever. Merry Christmas, pull a lollipop. I got you. I mean, can you imagine? How does that work? Have you ever heard of that?
I have heard of Saint Catherine. I actually am a French teacher by background, and Saint Catherine
Oh,
was and the Taffy Pull thing. I thought it was in Quebec, but yeah. So, but a
it may be. I trust you more than Google.
a taffy pull is actually like the taffy is quite liquidy, and then you put it on snow to make it hard. And pulling is like you're pulling it. It's not that you're like choosing it. It's like a taffy pull is actually
Oh my
pulling the
gosh.
taffy.
Okay, so I was thinking like lollipops. Like, we have
No,
like a game where you pull lollipops out, and if it's colored on the bottom, you win a prize.
made out
So
of
I had
maple.
in my head that like, just win a man.
So you make it out of,
Oh,
I think made out of maple syrup, and then you pour it on the snow, and then you have to. Well, my partner, who's from Quebec, is telling me you put a stick or something down and you twirl it. You wind it onto the thing. But I've also seen people pulling it, so it depends. Sort of like there's what's the rock? What's the one that's
that's
down?
funny. I still wonder how they get a man out of that. That's very
Sorry.
interesting. I still wonder how they get a man out of that
Oh, I
though.
don't know. I didn't hear that part of the story.
That's
maybe
what got my interest. I'm like, what the hell?
maybe
That's
he's
funny.
pulling on the other end.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. Sometimes you find really funny things. I had an earlier podcast earlier this year with someone, and it was I think it was Vietnam, and I had found all this stuff, and she's like, "Wow, I really need to get out." Yeah, these things. It's really funny. Really, really funny. Okay, Barbara, well, anything else that you want to share about Christmas, what you guys do, or anything I didn't ask or you may want to add?
Well, you did mention something about the Santa Claus parade, and I don't think we talked about that just now. I don't know, my memory is really short, but
No, we didn't.
but
I just flashed it up.
I have a couple of funny stories about that. First of all, I remember over 60 years ago going to my dad's office building and watching from the window because it was a long parade. It was over an hour back then, and I also remember going downtown to see the Simpsons and Eaton's window displays. They had like things that actually moved in the window. Now we'd look and say, well, why isn't it moving? But back then, moving things
Yes,
were pretty cool. And like trains that
yeah, for
went
sure.
around and all sorts of things that moved in the windows. They were fat. Like that was one of the things you did is you go downtown and you look at the windows.
Yeah, no,
And
we did too. When I was young, we had the same thing. And and where I was, it was called Shillitoes. And a couple years ago, they did this like display with the old Shillitoes elves. And they had, like you said, like climb up the ladder. And he doesn't really go up the ladder. So we take all my nephews. I'm so excited they get to see the elves. And they're all like, this is awful. Who made this thing? Just everything. Yeah, like you said, now it's like, why aren't you moving?
the
Oh,
store,
that's funny though. We used to do the same. That's so cool.
yeah, yeah. And then,
Good memories.
but this parade is funny because when my children were young, we lived in a really, really tiny place, and you'd have to go quite a few miles to up a section. They actually closed the highway for the Santa Claus parade, and they would
Wow.
go up the highway, like the six floats that there were, or whatever, up the highway, turn around and come back, and then Santa would go into the town hall, and all the children would go in there for hot chocolate or whatever. And
Aw.
this other family moved from this tiny town to downtown Toronto or to Toronto, and they went to the Santa Claus parade in Toronto, which is over 2 hours long. And
Oh
the
my
little guy
gosh.
is watching, the youngest is watching and watching, and the parade's going by and going by and going by. And at the end, he goes, when are they turning around to come back?
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
gosh.
wasn't happening.
No, not with 2 hours. Oh, that's too funny.
And there's
Oh,
actually
that's so fun.
a parade in a town nearby us that's actually lit up tractors. It's all tractors. It's a farmer's parade, and it's so cool. Little town,
Oh
but
my gosh. I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's the same here. United States not as big as you, but still big. There's so many different traditions, like town to town, state
yeah.
to state. There's just way too many to capture, but it's really fun just to go back to people's memories and see what they're doing now, what we do the same. It's really, really fun. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. And again, Legal Shield, if you don't know what it is, want to know about it, reach out to Barbara. I'm sure she helps men too.
Sure.
Either way, but it really is a great product. If you're not using it, I highly recommend reaching out to her. And tomorrow we will have Argentina. So it'll be Christmas around the world in Argentina tomorrow. We'll get to learn a little bit about that. And as always, thank you for joining me. And I hope everyone has very, very happy holidays. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you for inviting me. This has been fun.
Awesome. Okay.